Everybody, welcome back to another live stream from Scalar Learning, and today we are tackling the SAT from May, the no calculator section today. So I'm very excited. Now, usually, of course, I like to do these live streams where I'm seeing things for the first time and I'm really taking it authentically. The issue with this one is I actually have seen this test. I've taken this test. If you guys saw my other live score reveal, I got a perfect 800 on this test when I actually officially took it. So it won't be that authentic experience that I usually strive for, but nevertheless, I'm going to go through it within a time setting and explain all the problems and how to do them, and that's it. So here we go, my friends. If you guys are ready, let's do this. What's up, Portland Exotics? All right, here we go. So we got the timer set up and we are at 25 minutes. And again, if you're new to this live stream or these live streams and these reviews, I'm going to be engrossed in the problems while I'm doing them because I'm taking in the time setting. So I won't see your questions kind of popping in or rolling in as I go throughout. What's up, John Bob? What's up, Idrak? But the questions that you have, whatever you have, you can write them. Hey, what's up, Mehrunessa? So any questions that you have, just hold them or you can write them, and then at the end I'll go back and I'll try and respond to everybody. All right? Here we go. We're going to start in 3, 2, 1. Let's do it. All right. In the question above, A is constant. For which of the following values will it have no solutions? Wait, what? A is a constant. Oh, yeah. When A equals 0. Because if A equals 0, then it's going to be, it doesn't matter what X is. It'll always be 0 equals 5, which is no solution. If A equals 1, X could be 5. If A equals 5, X could be 1. If A equals 10, X could be 1/2. All right. So next, what is the value of X? So we're just going to distribute, right? Boom, boom. And we got 9x, 3 times 3x is 9x, plus 3 times 5 is 15, equals 2x minus 8. Then we get the variables together, consolidate, as I say. The variables, that's 7x plus 15 equals, what is that, negative 8. Subtract 15, x equal 7x equals negative 23. Divide both sides by 7, and x equals negative 23/7. All right, next. Oops. Okay, question number 3. For the linear function h, the table above has several values of x and their corresponding h of x values, aka y values. You can also think about it like that. Which of the following defines h? So it's a linear function, right? So we have, here's 2 nice values. Look, that's not 21 and 47. It formatted it wrong. It's 2, 1, 4, 7. So first I'm going to go ahead and calculate my slope. I'm going to subtract down the y's, 1 minus 7 over 2 minus 4. So I already know my slope is negative 6 over negative 2, which is a slope of 3. Oh, and we're done because it's an easy question. That's the wrong slope. That's the wrong slope. That's the wrong slope. It's 3. So we're done. Using Terrence's car contains 8 gallons of fuel. He plans to drive the car m miles using the fuel currently in the car. He can drive 20 miles per gallon. So that means for every mile he drives 20. If it's 1, it's 20. It's 2, it's 40, etc. Which inequality gives the possible values of m? So look, 20m, sorry, hold on. No, I did that backwards. I'm sorry. That's not what I meant. Is it what I meant? Oh, I think I messed that up. Hold on. 8 gallons of fuel, and he can drive. No, that's totally wrong. Excuse me. 8 gallons of fuel, and he can drive. So that should have been gallons times 20, not miles. So it's 8 times 20 is the total miles that he can drive, right? Because if he had 1 gallon, he could drive 22 gallons, 40, and he's got 8 gallons. And this is the amount of miles he's going to drive, and miles can be less than or equal to that. That's it. Because the max that the miles could be is 160, because that's the amount of gas he has, and that's how many total miles he could go. So it's m is less than the product of these guys, and that's it. All right. Next, in the figure above, T intersects line L and K. Which of the following statements, if true, would imply that lines L and K are parallel? Okay. All right. So what would imply is that that W and Z are equal, or that X and Z are equal, because those would be W and Z because alt exterior angles, or Z and Y would be corresponding. So Z and Y, hold on. So W and Z, it's right there. That's option B. Okay, so these guys are equal. Done. Geometry theorem. Next, blood volume in a human can be determined using this equation where VP is the plasma and H is the whatever. Okay, which of the following? Okay, this is all irrelevant. All we need to do is isolate H. This is a nice isolating quantities question where this stuff is nonsense and they're trying to trip you up. So let's isolate H together. VP over 1 minus H. First, I'm going to multiply both sides by 1 minus H. It gets rid of it on this side and shoots it over to the other side. And then I'm going to divide by VB. That goes away. And then I have 1 minus H equals that. And then I'm going to subtract 1 from both sides. Goodbye. So then it's negative H equals VP over VB minus 1. And then multiply everything by negative 1. So it's H equals positive 1. And then that flips to a negative minus VP over V. I think that's B, right? And it's this one, A. H equals 1 minus VP over VB. The rest of them don't make any sense. There we go. All right, next. That was 6. Now we need 7. What is the solution to the equation above? I'm going to multiply everything by x plus 5 first of all, okay? That gets rid of this weird fraction that we don't like. So then I got 2x, 2 times x plus 1, because this is gone and this is gone, equals x plus 5 times that times 1 is just x plus 5 minus, and then it just becomes 1. Because when you do x plus 5 times 1 over x plus 5, it just crosses out and becomes 1. So now I got a really much easier equation. Let's distribute, and I get 2x plus 2 equals x, and it gets combine that x. 5 minus 1 is 4, x plus 4. Subtract 2 from both sides, and subtract x simultaneously from both sides. And I get x equals 4 minus 2, which is 2, so x is 2. And then if you want to be careful, plug it back in and make sure it's right. 2 plus 1 is 3 is 6. It's 6 over 7 on the left side equals, that's 1 over 7. And then 1 minus 1/7 is again 6/7, so it works. Which of the following is a solution to the equation above? All right, it's quadratic, so let's get everything on the left side. I'm going to subtract 2x and subtract 3 from both sides. So these guys go away. Let's keep that there. Minus 2x squared minus 2 minus 2x minus 3 equals 0. Combine like terms, and it's 2x squared minus 2x minus 5 equals 0. And then, now my first instinct would be to factor, but I can look at these answers and just have an inkling that we probably should use the quadratic formula because of the roots in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say negative b, which is 2, plus or minus the square root of b squared, which is 2 squared, which is 4, minus 4 times a, which is 2, times c, which is negative 5, all over 2 times a. I have a song for this if you have trouble remembering this. Hold on. And then 4, so this becomes 4 times 2 is 8 times negative 5 is negative 40. And then the two negatives cancel out. So 2 plus or minus square root of positive 44 over 4. Square root of 44 can be reduced to 2 root 11 because it's 4 times 11. 4 is a perfect square, and that comes out as a 2 divided by 4. And then divide everything by 2, and you get 1 plus or minus square root of 11 over 2, right? Divide that by 2, that by 2, that by 2. And it's one of the solutions would be this guy, right? 1 plus the square root of 11 over 2. And the song goes, negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And it actually really, really works, even though some students don't like the music stuff. It really works. Okay, next, which of the following is not a factor of the polynomial? First, what I'm going to do is I'm going to factor out an x. You get 2x squared plus 11x plus 5. Okay, so clearly x is a factor. Next, let's factor this guy, and we get, I know I got 2x multiplying x. You could use the star method, but it's easier probably not to, and I think this is going to be a 5 and a 1. Yeah, and then this works because it's 2x squared, 10x plus 1x, which gives me the 11x plus 5. So we know we factored it right, and clearly x plus 5 is there, 2x plus 1, this guy's out. So just do the work, factor it, don't guess. You know that can be factored. The graph in the xy plane of a linear function contains a point 3,4. Every increase of 5 units in x as the run, f of x increases by 3 units, aka it's a slope of 3/5. Which of the following defines the function? Wrong slope, wrong slope, wrong slope. Done. That's it. They were just describing slope. Now, do I care about the 3, 4? In this case, no. But if I want to be extra careful, I'll plug 3 in and make sure I get 4. So if I plug 3 in, I get 9/5 plus 11/5. And guess what? That equals 20/5, which does, of course, equal 4. And so the 3, 4 does exist on the line, and we're good. Okay. Now we're on to 11. P, an x table gives value polynomial function based on the value which of the following must be a factor of p. Now look, we want to, when we're asking questions like this, we want to look for the zeros for y, not for that one. We don't care about that one. So that means we have a 0 at -1 and +2, which means that x minus these guys are factors, okay? So x minus -1, x minus 2, this turns into a plus, of course. So these guys are both factors. Oops. So x plus 1 and x minus 2. This guy. Done. I think that's it. X plus 1, x minus 2. Done. All right, number 12. We got g of x to... okay, the function g is defined in the equation above. Which of the following points in the xy plane is an x-intercept of the graph? Got it. All right, so we need an x-intercept. At the x-intercept, the y value is 0, aka I'm going to plug in 0 for this guy. And wait a minute, let's see. 0 equals 2 to the x minus 2. Add 2 to both sides, add 2 to both sides. 2 to the x equals 2. Therefore, x equals 1. Therefore, the x-intercept occurs at x equals 1 where we're plugging 1 in for the x value. It's this one. And then it's whatever we get for g of x, which would be, well, it would be 0, but it doesn't matter. See, they're trying to trick you with this one because you're like, oh, it should be 0. I mean, this is 0, but it doesn't matter. It's still also the y value, or the g value in this case, at 1, and that's fine. Next, 13. Which of the following, let's get rid of this. Which of the following is a graph in the xy plane of the given equation? Boom. So it's negative x squared. First of all, it's a quadratic going down. Okay, we know that. So I'm going to eliminate, because the first, it's negative. The x squared term is negative. So that's out and that's out. Then the question is, which one? Okay, fast way to check this is, look, when I plug 0 in for x, in this one I'm getting 4. In this one I'm getting 0. So let's plug 0 in, and what do we get? 0 squared plus 4 times 0, which of course is 0. So we should be getting, we should have the point 0, 0, not 0, 4. So I'm liking this guy. That's pretty much it. That's the fast way to do it. Next, this one a lot of people had problems with. What did we do here? I squared, immediately we know is that squared, which is just -1. What about this guy? Is this guy +1? It is not, because it's really -I times -I. So the negatives cancel out. Then we square the I, and it becomes -1. So it's not +1, it's still -1. -1 combined with a -1 is -2. The dimensions of a right rectangular prism. Just a box. That's all it is. Boom, boom. The dimensions of a right rectangular prism are 4 by 5 by 6. What is the surface area in square inches? Okay, first, this is how I do surface area. Calculate the front face, 4 times 5, which is 20. Calculate the side, which is 4 times 6, right? 4 times 6, which is 24. And then calculate the top, which is 5 by 6, which is 30. And that's 30 plus 20 plus 24, which is 84. And then we double it, because I just did 3 out of 6 sides, so we double it because the other sides are all equal. So it's 168. Oh, wait, what? What did I do? 5 inches. I messed up. 4 inches by 5 inches. 60, 70. Oh, oops. 74. What am I doing? Oh, my God. All right. So it's doubling that is 148. Boom. There we go. All right, next, 16 is this guy. All right, what is the solution? Solution for this. All right, all I'm going to do, this is a nice, easy one. We're just going to plug 2 in for the x and solve for y. 3 times 2 plus y. This is good old substitution. 6 plus y equals 29. Subtract 6 from both sides, and y equals 23. Now, again, free response. You have no multiple choice answers to guide you, so you got to be really careful not to make a mistake. So I'm going to plug this back in and make sure it works. If y equals 23 and x equals 2, yeah, it works. It gives us 29. Okay, next. 17. A pizza parlor sells pizza slices for 3 and calzones for 4. 3 for P, 4 for calzones. A group of friends spent $51 on pizza slices and calzones, so we add these and spend $51. If they bought 6 calzones, aka C equals 6, how many pizza slices did they buy? Straightforward equation, let's solve. 3P plus 4 times 6 equals 51. 3P plus 24 equals 51. Subtract 24, subtract 24. 3P equals 27 and P equals 9. So they bought 9 pizza slices. Right? So 9 times 3 and 6 plus 6, 27. Yeah, it works. Just plugging it back in, make sure. All right, next. Air resistance is ignored. The function h defined above models the height above ground, blah, blah, blah. What is the height above the ground in feet of the toy rocket 1 second after launch? Simple, plug and chug. So we just plug in 1 second after means we plug 1 in for t and evaluate, right? So don't let all this crazy stuff throw you off. This is a plug and chug question. Negative 16 plus 48. 48 times 1 is 48 plus 72. These guys give me 32, right? 648 minus 16, 38, 32 plus 72. And that's just, oh boy. That's just 104. Okay. I'm always a little more cautious on these because if I mess it up, I'm basically done. The points and the free response I'm saying. The points plotted in the coordinate plane above represent possible numbers of wallflowers and cornflowers that someone can buy at the garden store to spend exactly $24. The price of each wallflower is the same, and the price of each cornflower is. What is the price in dollars of one cornflower? Okay, my easiest thing here. So we can do like a system of equations and all that, but because they provide these nice points here, I don't need to do much, because I know that if I just buy 16 cornflowers, my total is going to be 24 because the total is always 24. Therefore, I can just solve this nice simple equation and get that's 1.5. So in this case, you just do, if you didn't know how to do that, just do the division. 24 divided by 16, write it out, you get $1.50. So in this case, it's just $1.50. Now, if you're like, wait, does that make sense? Plug it in and try. Right here, we already know it works. What about here? We can figure out the price of wallflowers very easily. 12 wallflowers equals 24. So wallflowers are $2. And then does it work for like a random point? Let's try this one. 8 cornflowers is 8 plus 4 is 12. 6 wallflowers is also 12, and 12 and 12 and 24. So I feel pretty confident about that. Just make sure they're asking for cornflower, not wallflower, and they are. Next, last but not least. All right, immediately you see this, you know that you're trying to solve for this. You should know that, wait a minute, I don't want these crazy roots. I should get this into a fractional format. So this is really, that's the square root. So if I'm going to rewrite it, I put the power on top and the power of the root on the bottom. This is a square root, so it's x over 5 halves, over, that's x to the 4, that's the power, over the cube root 3. Equals x to the AB. Then we're doing a fraction, so we subtract the exponent. So it's x to the 5 over 2 minus 4/3 equals x to the AB, which means that basically we don't need these guys. The x's, hold on, let me see if I can make some room. Okay, so then it's 5 over 2 minus 4 over 3 equals A over B. Let's get common denominators, multiply this by 3, this by 2, and I get 15 over 6 minus 8 over 6. It's A over B. 15 minus 8 is 7 over 6, and that's my answer. That's what A over B is, and we're done. All right, let's stop the clock. Again, if you're actually taking the test and you have extra time, don't do what I'm doing and just stop. You're going to go back, check all your answers. You're going to star things that were a little weird and confusing, and start there first, and the ones that you flagged, but then try and redo everything, honestly. And you obviously want to do the harder ones. You want to prioritize the tougher ones that were tricky, but you still want to check those easy ones and medium ones to make sure you didn't make any silly mistakes. All right, let's check the answers. Hold on here. Oops, I didn't log in. Here we go. All right, so we got this one. And wait a minute. We need the math without calculator section because I got the answers here. All right, let's check it. Boom. We got one is A, two is, oops, one is A, two is A, B, A, B, A. Oh, did I leave? Oh, B, A, B, A. Okay, then 7 is B, D, D, C. B, come on. B, what was it? Was it B, D? B, D, D, C. D, D, C. Okay. Then we've got D, C, D, A. D, C, D, A. And then last one is D. All right, cool. Next, let's do the free response. We've got 23. Oops. 23, 9, 104, $1.50, like I said, or you could put 1.5, it looks like, and 7.6. All right, there we go. Let's see what questions we got. Here we go. I got quite a few. Hold on, let's see here. Let's go. All right, where do you find these questions? Yeah, this is the actual official May test. Yeah, I think. Wait, I did the May International on Saturday and Sunday. So check my old streams. I just did it this weekend. All right, 12. Okay, so 4, 12, 19, and 20. 4, 12, 19, and 20. Okay. Numero 4. Check it out. In this one, we've got 4, 12, 19, and 20. All right, so we got 8 gallons of fuel. He plans to drive the car M miles. So look, we know that which inequality gives the possible values of M. We already know that M is going to be like, it's going to be less than some quantity because he can't drive infinite miles, and that the amount he can drive is dictated by the amount of fuel he has. Now, straight away, we know that he's got this fuel efficiency, go 20 miles per gallon. So I know that he can go less than whatever his total miles that he can drive. Well, now 20 miles per gallon, if he had 1 gallon, he could drive 20 miles. 2 gallons, 40. 3, 60. So we know we're multiplying. So I know it's going to be 8 times 20, which is 160. That's the max that he can drive. Now, they kept it in this format, but really this would be the final equality and that inequality, and that's really it. All right, number 12. That would be down here. Okay. We got this function, and they said the first thing you need to know is that, and we're trying to find an x-intercept, and x-intercepts are where the y value is 0, the function value is 0. So I start by plugging in 0, and then I'm just solving for x. That's it. So let's isolate x. Like, I don't like that, we have an x in the exponent. That's a pain, but it actually works out pretty nicely when you get to this point. Like, you might think, oh, I need to use logarithms to solve. You actually don't. Once you're here, you're good because you can see that the bases are the same, and when that happens, the powers are equivalent or equal to each other. So we already know, boom, x equals 1. That's where the x-intercept occurs. Now, going back, I don't actually even care about this the right column. It doesn't matter. All I need to know, so that kind of is a distraction. All I need to know is that my x value is 1 for the x-intercept. This is the only one where the x value is 1. This is 2, this is 0, this is, I think, -1. So those are all out. That's it. Okay, 19 and 20. Numero 19. Okay, 19. So I know this is confusing, but it's really not that bad. Now, if you didn't catch my shortcut was the simple way to solve for the price of the cornflowers is like I got this amazing data point that I know that when I sell 16 cornflowers, 16 times whatever the price is, I'm spending $24 because I'm always spending $24. Now, I chose that data point so I didn't have to make a system of equations. And then all I do is I just isolate by dividing by 16 and I get 1.5. Alternatively, I could have done a system of equations, okay? I could have done it like this, and this would still be great. It's just not the efficient option. But I could have done something like this, like 4c, that's this point, plus 9w equals 24. Because it always equals 24. And then my second equation could be, I don't know, 8c plus 6w equals 24. And now I have a system of equations I can solve by either elimination or substitution, but that's not the optimal way. You could do it, though. It'd probably take you a minute. It wouldn't take you that long. And last but not least, number 20. Yeah, and I'm doing the calculation section tomorrow. You don't have to call me Mister. Just call me by my name is Huzaifa. None of my students call me Mister. Where are you from? Mehrunessa. Okay, here we go. So this one, look, the main idea, I'll just erase all this work. The main idea here is we see these rational exponents and I see the roots and I don't like that. We know we have an equation, so I want to get these into rational format. So since this is really a square root, the way we rewrite this fraction, there's two ways I could think about this, right? I can think about this as it's x to the 5th, and then the square root of that as an exponent, it's just 1/2. For the denominator, it's the cube root. A cube root is 1/3. All right, that's how we think about roots. It's 1/4, 1/5 power, whatever. Then I can simplify by multiplying in, and this becomes x over 5/2 over x over 4/3. And then we know that this equals x to the ab. Well, I can combine these and get one singular base on the left side and subtract down. So it's x 5/2 minus 4/3 equals x to the ab. Again, we don't need the bases now that they're equivalent. So I have 5/2 minus 4/3 equals, oops, that came out weird. Oh, no, that's supposed to be x a over b. Equals a over b, and then using common denominators I get 15 over 6 minus 8 over 6, which is 7/6, and that's ab, and that's it. All right guys, that is it for today's live stream. I'm doing another one tomorrow, so make sure to stay tuned and jump online if you're prepping for this SAT coming up on Saturday. Very important to do your due diligence in this last week. You can actually make a lot of gains if you study the right way. Deep practice. Check out my video on deep practice if you want, where I talk about the idea of how you really go in and be an effective learner and test prepper. And I wish you guys all the best of luck. If you like this video, guys, please, and you're still watching, click that like button so I know it was valuable and important and helpful. And also, if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe if you want to stay up to date on all the content from Scalar Learning. We got a lot of great stuff coming out on the regular. You can even check out my Instagram. I posted a meme the other day of not a meme, but like more of an infographic of the 17 essential equations that you gotta know for this Saturday to take the SAT and do your absolute best. So make sure to take a glance at those, and then be familiar with the equations and formulas that they give you on the SAT. It's important to know what they give you so you know when you need to look something up and where to find it. All right? Thank you guys so much for joining, and I'll see you all next time. Take it easy.